What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NECC Rocket League Championships. My name is Bass from the Past, and joined alongside me is the one, the only Hyferia. We've been waiting all season to get to this moment, and it has finally come. It is the day of days. It is the day where every single division and every single coast gets their chance to play in the top level here at the #1 position to get this championships against, well, who else but the best teams in the league? And right now is exactly that. We have NTC versus Howard Community College, the #1 and 2 seeds going into the playoffs. I could not be more excited. As you can see, Hyferia, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely amazing. Really looking forward to this. It is finals day, and I love that everything's just getting combined on one day and just a massive amalgamation of absolutely amazing matches the entire night through. And I'm looking forward to this. To be fair, as expected, technically the number 1 and the number 2 seed have made it in as... Oh my word, our producer is a Rocket League pro, and he left the bots on. I think we do see some better players than bots, I think, in Challenger Division.
Just quite possibly. It's something that we may want to see is maybe the players that are on these two teams, and the players on these two teams are extremely, extremely capable, and I'm very excited to see them play. Both of these teams finished their season at 8-1, took 2 playoff wins in a row to get here. The interesting thing is, though, for Howard Community College, the number 2 seed, their only loss of the season is actually not NTC. The one time these two teams faced off against each other, NTC, Northcentral Technical College, took the loss against HCC, meaning the one loss they took all season was against the number 2 seed, and they are going to want the revenge right here, right now. They've been waiting all season to get to this moment, and it could not be more hype. Hyferia, I'm ecstatic to get this one underway. I have got no other words besides I'm ready to get this one going.
Oh, yeah, same. And to be fair, all I'm thinking right now is NTC, HCC, they sound like some fancy new cryptocurrency or something like that. And they sound very similar as well, so I'm definitely going to trip over that at some point. Well, NTC and HCC, as we already said, the number 1 and the number 2 seed. It should be an absolutely amazing grand final. NTC, obviously, as you said, having the one up on Howard, I'd say. Well, you really don't know unless you actually get onto the Rocket League pitch.
Yeah, it's going to be one of these things where it's just going to be a little bit interesting to see how this one's going to balance out. As we said, you know, the number 2 seed coming into this one is theoretically going to have the advantage because they had won previously, but it's really not going to matter right here, right now. It's all about what you can do in the playoffs. Everything before this is wiped clean. You have one best of 7, not 5 anymore, to try and prove yourselves to the rest of the NECC community. And these are two teams which I absolutely believe can do that. This is going to be an incredible, incredible matchup, and I cannot wait for this because it's only the start of the night, Hyferia. This is match number 1. We have got 4 other matchups tonight between all the other championship schools that are ready to get this one underway. They're either going home with second place or they're going home with the championships. And, well, we're going to have to find out who that is going to be. Looks like we're just trying to get all the players into this lobby. So once we have everybody here, we will get this one immediately underway. But Hyferia, it's been a long season, my friend. We started this one many, many weeks ago, and after 9 games during the regular season and then 2 games per team in the playoffs, or, well, 2 games minimum, I should say. Some teams had to play a little bit more than that. We finally arrived here at the championship, and I could not be more excited, as I said. It's really one of these things where the NECC has been building up to this for so long. The Rocket League division was something we had here in season we call it the beta season, more or less, as this is now season 0. And to see it blossom into what it is here today just makes me so proud and puts such a smile on my face. And I'm so happy to be able to do this one more time. We got the championship last season. This time we get to do it again, but we have 5 separate matches. This is absolutely incredible, Hyferia. I'm just so excited for today.
Yeah, before I don't think I'll have time for this, but since we're waiting on the players, and this is a question that I recently saw by a streamer, Ludwig, so some of you probably will already have heard this. But, okay, so you have LeBron James, all right? And you are with your mind in his body, and his mind is in your body. Who would win a basketball 1v1?
Interesting. This is probably my favorite intro question of the day. I'm going to answer this one plain and simple. I still give it to LeBron because I can't shoot whatsoever. So good luck on trying with my body to actually hit a jump shot. But, you know, that's the best of LeBron's ability. He can do what he desires here. I don't think that is necessarily what we are focusing on at the moment, though, because I think that the players have finally joined up into the lobby and we are about ready to go. I don't believe there's anyone else that we are waiting on. So as soon as we get the signal from our producer that we are all set and ready to start, we will get this one underway. Hyferia, I am excited, my friend. As I keep saying, this really is just got me giddy. I am so incredibly ready for this one. Any early predictions from you? Do you believe that this is going one way or the other, or how do you think that this one's going to end up?
Well, considering the seeding pretty much every single time has been correct, has been moving on through the bracket, I'm gonna have to go with NTC purely because they're number 1 seed. It makes it very simple for me to make a prediction. Obviously, I'm not 100% confident in that. I'm just going off of, well, they're number 1, so surely they're gonna stay number 1. Apart from that, I don't really have a way to calculate this because you always have different playstyles to go up against each other. But I do think NTC, with their past and everything like that, just have one up on Howard.
Interesting. All right. Well, the little bit of one-up might be there, but I do think this is going to be an intense battle back and forth. No early predictions for me besides I might have to agree with you on NTC, but I think that at minimum this is going to at least a Game 6, if not 7. The two teams have been battling out the entire season. They've been playing incredibly well throughout the entire season. As we said, both teams only took a single loss, throughout the regular season and have taken no losses in the playoffs. However, the interesting thing is here for NTC, week number 1 against the number 8 seed, they went 3-0. Week number 2 against the number 4 seed, they went 3-2, and then find themselves here, or at least in weeks in the playoffs, Meanwhile, Howard Community College, they've gone to Game 5 every single time. So Howard are very, very used to all of this aggression and all of this back and forth gameplay. They know how to clutch it up when it is the perfect moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Howard have been tested a little bit more during the playoffs. Meanwhile, NTC have had, I'd say, a little bit easier of a road, or at least the beginning of their playoffs was. So we're going to see how that factors in here today. The road less travel might not necessarily be that beneficial as it's going to prepare you for today, but I believe we are prepared on the pitch. The teams are just about ready to start here. Hyferia, you've been waiting, my friend. You've been getting to this moment for so long. And finally, I think we are just about here. As soon as these players hit the pitch, we will be underway. Oh, my word, my friend. I've got no other words. Take it away as we get this one started.
It's been so long, and I'm sure everybody is sick and tired of our faces. We'll come back between the games, don't you worry. You'll see us back for sure. But right now, once everybody's actually ready to join, here we go. Everybody's joining up on the pitch, and we can get this one underway. A final best of 7 NTC versus HCC. You duking it out for that number 1 spot. There's no lower bracket. You lose, and you are out. Right now, it is a decent start out of NTC, or at least it seems to be. A pass infield towards Blast. Off the post he goes, but they are coming out firing right now on NTC.
Immediately out the gates, going for shots, and this is what we want to see. We don't want to see any nerves here. Nerves can play such an important factor in games like this, so to see teams coming out confident, immediately hitting the ball aggressively, and playing with a good amount of coordination is what we are hoping for. Uh-oh, but some miscoordination on the side of Howard. All of a sudden, they're backed into their own corner. Sergeant Dilmac has a center. No one is there. Blast is going to be there a little bit late and will at least continue the offense. Definitely a little bit of relief pressure, and NTC are probably not going to be able to convert. Oh, I was going to say quite yet, but some misses out of midfield. They're going to open up the position. Swift going to try and save this one out, but as Sergeant Dilmac gets it to the corner, no receiver will be there. Blast tried to get a shot, but it goes the other way. Back and forth already, Hyferia, and only a minute into this one, you can see what type of pace we're going to have on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little bit afraid for HCC right now, though. They have been making a fair few errors. Right now, it hasn't led to a goal. Well, Sergeant Dilmac hitting off the backboard. Koiboy waiting patiently for his turn. Launched it to the post. Now an HCC counter-attack might just get started. Northcentral, where is the final defender? Sergeant Dilmac gets back in time. Is demoed for his troubles. Now Norbert, which I am going to very much struggle to call him the entire day, considering, well, the British word. It doesn't really matter though. It says Koiboy in the center, hits it off the crossbar. Novas to come in from behind and clear it out.
Good touch, and it's going to relieve a whole lot of pressure now. ACC finally able to break out of their happen. Uh-oh, all of a sudden they break out for only a moment. Nob has to get back and make that save last second. NTC is still on attack, though. Oh, wait, maybe only momentarily. A good defensive stand out at midfield here, and it'll relieve a lot of pressure. Back and forth we go again. Neither team really having steady possession of the ball here. We've seen a little bit of midfield play from NTC to where they keep the pressure, but we definitely haven't seen that many extended plays on either half of the pitch. Again, it's just kind of going back and forth, and ooh, all of a sudden, a shot might just ring home as Koiboy has the center and will slam that one in for the first goal for NTC.
This is very much an inevitability. At some point, NTC were going to break through. They were attacking pretty much the entire time, putting HCC under pressure and forcing errors out of them. And now NTC taking that lead could propel them further into this. Oh, wow, never mind. Where that's going to propel them, it's going to propel them completely backwards as HEC. Well, they get capitalization on the massive miss from NTC and tie it all up.
An unfortunate response there, as all of a sudden NTC really wanted to have that bit of momentum, but not quite able to hold on to it. 1-1 it becomes, but there's half the game left at this point, Hyferia. Plenty of time for either squad to try and either bring this one back, or really, I would say, start to dominate, because there's so much room for one of these teams to start capitalizing upon the chaos and really start to get these possession plays in their favor. So far, it's been a lot of C-ball, hit ball, just kind of slam it as hard as you can and hope that eventually someone is there. And speaking of which, a lot of awkward plays, but Blast is going to have the cross court, and all of a sudden, NTC are up 2-1.
Oh my word, this turned from a very shaky save out of Koiboy to a perfect shot out of Blast. And while I say shaky save out of Koiboy, in the end, it was absolutely phenomenal, perfectly hitting it off the crossbar to send it back into the open space where a shot could be ripped and baiting the final defender in. It was genuinely a thing of beauty. Now they do need to capitalize, and they do need to be afraid of the long shots themselves. There's one got sent towards the opposing net, not getting a touch whatsoever. Swift sends it center as well. No goalie own whatsoever. Sergeant Dilmac, this time he's just a few seconds too late, and that is once again an equalizer.
Well, if you thought these teams were even going into this one, this is just further proof of that. Logs and Trees with a dunk right in front of the net, and we are back to 2-2 with just underneath 2 minutes remaining. This has really gone back and forth and back and forth. Neither team has had too much momentum in their favor, and if a goal does appear, it's really out of nowhere. There's not a lot to be told from this first game, to be honest, Hyferia. I feel like this is still the teams trying to feel each other out and figure out how they want to play. They're not necessarily playing passively, but they're definitely not playing as intricately as you might expect for, oh my word, teams at this level, and they're still also making mistakes on the back end. ACC gonna take the lead here from an unfortunate miss out of Sergeant Dilmac.
Right now, I think the difference mainly is NTC. I'm gonna say they were the better team. They were progressing on the field better. They were making fewer mistakes, but they were not able to capitalize upon the mistakes that HEC made. And now HEC have kept themselves in the series, in this game, very well. One mistake out of NTC immediately goes punished on the side of HEC, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's just a really good heads-up play out of HEC. Swift now going underneath. Koiboy needs to make the save. Logs and Trees is able to keep it in. Well, NTC, they need to really start to punish any mistake that happens out of HEC.
Absolutely. They need to make sure that they're capitalizing to the same degree, and they really are not right now. And finally, we actually do see a little bit of possession play here. HCC on attack for an extended period of time now. They are pushed into their back half, and ooh, Swift with not the most opportune touch there is going to all of a sudden lead to some more NTC offense, or so I thought. Newble goes up for this one, has a good touch, and it's panic all around at NTC. Two players go for it. The third has to bail them out, and with 36 seconds remaining, they really can't afford to be floundering like this. They need to get an offense together, and they need to get it quick. They're still down by one, and they are in their own half yet again as Newble plays some interference. Boy will get it out to the center. A shot will rip off, but it is against the bar, and it will go out. NTC coming within inches of being able to tie this one up, but can't quite have the accuracy necessary.
Oh my word, I was questioning where the follow-up was, but there was no cavalry arriving. Maybe there's some cavalry right now. No, they're still patiently waiting, and well, you've got some cojones, I can give you that, but apart from whatever you just did, you can't be doing that. You can't wait for so long, and HEC, they do take the victory right here in game number 1.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tense back and forth. This has just been, I can't really put it simply, but it's one of these things where I don't feel like either team has necessarily taken the momentum, though. Even though ACC did have this original win, it doesn't necessarily feel like they're 100% in favor right now. NTC got very, very close at the end there, and if they had played a little bit more aggressively, Hyferia, I think they might have had a goal. It's a little bit back and forth right now, and I do think that HCC can try to improve from here on out and really try to capitalize, but they really, really need to try and do that quickly, because it's one of these things where NTC were so close to getting that equalizer. I really do feel as if we had gone to overtime, this could have gone either way.
Yeah, exactly. And NTC, they kind of threw it away. I feel like it was very much in their in their hands, in their grip. Well, with that one tiny mistake, HEC capitalized so perfectly. And that is Rocket League. Can't just be expecting that the team that looked better in the game will win in the end. There's plenty of time for HEC to really step up the game here as well. Because right now, NTC, they're 1-0 behind, and they're really struggling to find something back this game number 2. And that is the fortunate thing about a game of 7, or about a best of 7. You have plenty of time to try and figure everything out, but you do need to start right now. I think if NTC give another game away to HEC, it might not be directly afterwards, it might not be in a sweep, but they put themselves in a very terrible position.
Yeah, 100%. You want to make sure that you keep the series as close as possible, and they're trying to do exactly that. A huge opportunity, though, for ACC to try and get an early lead here and actually just further their lead on the series, but unfortunately not quite able to, and some awkward play will develop because of it. ACC not in the right place and right time, but neither is NTC. 2 players on the ball. Neither one of them gets a clean touch, and that is the end of their offense. They will try to continue it out at midfield, but Logs and Trees and Nooble doing a good job to just avoid the bumps and avoid the players. Hyferia, this is looking a little bit chaotic. NTC came into game number 2. They needed to have a quick response, and they'll get one. I thought that it would be a little too panicked, but all of a sudden, 1-0. NTC find an error on the goal line.
And this transition was so incredibly speedy. Logs and Trees in a pivotal position failed to make a touch, putting NTC up 1-0. I wouldn't say that's a punishment for a mistake, since, well, the mistake was made while the shot was being ripped, so it's not necessarily a punishment. But HEC are trailing 1 goal. They were trailing 2 goals before, if I do remember that correctly, so they do have plenty of time to try and figure this one out. 4 minutes to be exact. Dilmac putting it towards the opposing side and posing up for a potential hit there as well, but then a terrible miscommunication. And right now, it's just a game of who makes less errors.
And that sometimes is what it is in a Rocket League game like this, is if you can play to the best of your ability and make sure to have as few errors as possible, you might just be able to win this one. And that's really what we're seeing right now. Both teams are playing extremely risky, and because of that, they're double committing and leaving themselves open to a counterattack, another shot on target, whatever it might be. And all of a sudden, we're back to a tied game. Hyferia, neither team right now has really started to take advantage of possessions. We're just seeing one-off shots like that come from a random counterattack or a random encounter out at midfield. We need to see these teams playing a little bit more methodical. And it's only about 1:30 into game number 2, so the nerves are probably still there because of the beginning of this series, but I think this is something they need to focus on very quickly. Less sporadic plays and more well-developed attacks that turn into greater goals. I don't necessarily need anything too intricate, but I need to have greater plays than just that, where Swift takes a shot on target. There needs to be a follow-up where someone can actually slam that one home. And again, as all of a sudden NTC come down, they actually do have a good chance on offense here. Good passing plays all around. Sergeant Dilmac back out to the center. Blast is there, but gets interrupted. And is this one just going in? No, it is off target. Back and forth and back and forth. And again, still no very well-developed plays here. It's just going to be a random dribble into the center. The air dribble almost makes its way through. No follow-up will arrive. And now I'm just getting a little bit confused. Neither team has really been able to slow down the pace of play, and it's just chaos all over the pitch.
It is absolute chaos, and you might say that you don't expect great plays. I'm expecting at least a triple flip reset out of Koiboy. I think he can do it. I think he can pull it off and style on the entire HEC team. 1 flip reset for each player that he gets past Koiboy. He has very much proven that he is a solid player. Now he needs to evade the demo. It's Blast who gets in the way. Another shot will be ringing through as Swift rips one through the air as Logs and Trees now in the center. Not necessarily the greatest touch, and 0 boost on the recovery. Does grab a 100 pad. Might be able to get back in time. Dilmac once again on that back half, once again in time. So they do need to get this away from their goal. It is HEC pressing the issue, and I don't think they're going to stop pressing until they have a goal to show for it. Oh my word, that was a perfect opportunity. Now Noble in the corner, he didn't grab the boost. He does have control of the ball as of right now. Sometimes that's the best play, but I think he could have been doing with both. It doesn't matter since they are still in the attack. Flip reset, ceiling reset out of Noble, and he gets past.
Nooble finally showing that even though it's been all one-man offenses, they can do it better than anyone else. Off the ceiling, perfect angle, right off the post and in. And HCC take the lead here once again. This is a huge issue that we're still starting to see, is that even though these offenses are not too intricate, we are seeing just, shots off the ceiling and the like. The defenses are not quite able to withstand it. Nuble this time will be able to withstand the solo play here. Blast is going to try for another solo play with just a shot on target. And again, this is what we keep on harping upon. As much as I do appreciate these shots on net that are keeping the pressure up, they need to try some passing plays. They need to try something with a little bit more intricacy. Double commitments like that are probably not going to help them. ACC, I know you've got the lead, but you need to be careful. One mistake and all of a sudden NTC can tie this one up.
No, it gets it past. As it logs in trees once again in the defense, and as you said, it needs to be a little better out of NTC. They can't just expect HCC to make a mistake at some point during this game to try and get the comeback. That's a decent pass out of Sergeant Dilmak, but there's nobody there in NTC right now. They're having the right idea, and that is a perfect idea. Blasting the crossbar, and the idea was absolutely amazing. Well, the execution, let's just say, far from it, as these final few seconds, or final few, 40 seconds, is all that remain. It is going to be a very hard task for NTC.
This is going to be extremely difficult, and now the wind has been taken out of their sails. They had a huge chance on offense, and they squandered it, but now they've got one more. 20 seconds left. They are back on their opponent's half, and Sergeant Dilmak has a touch off the backboard. Blast is there, but shoots it all the way into their own half. Hyferia again. The accuracy just not there when it needs to be, and those precision touches are so incredibly important. They might get one more offense here. Out to Dilmak. Shots on target, and they tie it up with 1 second remaining.
Oh my word, what an absolute ripper as well. I don't think there was anything that Swift could have done. He tried his absolute hardest. I think that is one of the cases where you just are in the wrong place at the wrong time. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. There's an absolute ripper to tie it all level, but theoretically, it can still end in regulation. But Koibo will make sure that it does go to overtime here in game number 2, a pivotal one, as I said earlier, for NTC. Otherwise, HEC are going to be looking so good, and Blast might just have an opportunity once again. Blast could actually finish or tie it up, but he misses the ball altogether. They don't have to go on defense as of right now. It does get censored. Blast shouldn't have too much troubles. Does get a touch straight into Koiboy. Counter-attack is started. Lugs in trees. Doesn't make an error right here, and that is going to remain an overtime that the time is ticking up again.
Yeah, they're continuing through this overtime, and both teams are battling it out. So far, though, ACC, they've only really had that one chance right there, as we saw. Otherwise, NTC have been pressing the issue on repeat. They want to try and get this goal. They got a last-minute goal that has put them back on top. The momentum is in their favor, and they are really using that to their advantage. But Sergeant Dilmak pushes a bit too far out, makes a last-second save, but the follow-up shot from Nuble, it is not on target quite, but he can follow it up. Unfortunately, the over-aggression was the downfall. Dilmak makes a great save, but there is no one to follow it up, and all of a sudden, ACC are up by 2 games.
Look, I like the play out of Dilmak. I very much do. He was posing up and kind of faking it out, then going back on defense and making sure that it actually stayed tied up. And the reason HEC still got a goal out of that is Noble with 0 boost. An absolute ripper. It didn't go in because of Noble, but, well, it basically did. He put it on the line the entire time, and he just absolutely rips it with 0 boost. An impressive feat always in the game of Rocket League, where sometimes you find yourself without boost. Noble very much did not care about that whatsoever and made it work perfectly, and that is HEC. They're starting a little bit closer, but once again, take the victory.
Yeah, and that is really, it's something we had just talked about previously, which is making the most out of your opponent's mistakes. You have to take advantage when something like that happens, and it's not a mistake by any stretch of the imagination. It was a great touch by Sergeant Dilmak, but the issue is it's not a clear. A save is one thing, a clear is a whole other ball game. So when you're in that position, you need to make sure that once you clear it, one of your teammates can rotate through and hit that out and get yourselves a little bit of relief of pressure. That did not happen, unfortunately. Blast and Koiboy could not get back around, make the touch, and as a result, Nuble was just there to capitalize. And that's what we keep on talking about, is capitalization upon those little errors. They don't have to be gigantic, but if you can lead them to even more awkwardness, you can take advantage and get yourself a goal. And now, ACC, they have done that twice for the victory. All of a sudden, NTC, they're down by 2 games. They've still got a chance in this one because it's a best of 7, but they lose this one. Their opponents are match point, and they have to reverse sweep Hyferia. This is a very important game for NTC. They need to win this one if they want to stay in the series.
Reverse sweeping is one of the hardest things to do. I think the worst than reverse sweeping is winning 2 best-of-7s in a row, and well, Koiboy wants to make sure that they don't have a position where they all of a sudden have to reverse sweep their opponent. Well, NTC, there's plenty of time of the game ahead still.
Yeah, this is still very early into the game. It is 4:44 left on the clock. And unfortunately, that 1-goal lead is not nearly secure enough. We've seen it already once, and we will see it again. The last-second goals that happen are something to be aware of. You need to be very careful and play the full 5 minutes to the best of your abilities. We've seen this happen before, both in the NECC and just around Rocket League. Teams will get a little bit too comfortable once they've got a lead, and all of a sudden, in the middle of their comfort, they have a little bit of a lull of offense or a little bit of lull of pressure. Oh, but no lull here. All of a sudden, NTC up 2-0 as they continue to press on their offense.
And 4:20 remaining as well. Very nice indeed, as HEC just took a early deficit after winning 2 games in a row. But HEC are now on a pretty decent deficit, and NTC might just be able to see this one out if they just pose up a little bit more defensively. They'll be able to see this one out. That is one option they could go right now. They could see it out. But you don't want to see it out at this point. When you lose 2 games in a row and you're feeling confident in another game, you want to absolutely crush them, and crushing them is currently what's very much looking like it might just happen. HEC once again on the back half, they do manage to defend out, can maybe start a counterattack, and the thing with an early lead is that it's early, so there's still plenty of time for the opponents to come back from.
And considering how efficient their offense is looking right now, I think they're doing well. A very booming clear is going to give a chance, though, and uh-oh, that's not the most perfect touch. Logs and Trees, though, does have the follow-up, and that's something that is so important right now. We mentioned it before, and we'll mention it again. Being able to clear that ball out and buy your team time when it's in an awkward position on defense is what wins games, and although they are down by 2, ACC look incredibly strong. Howard might just get themselves a goal, and indeed they do. Logs and Trees comes high flying and slams this one home.
Oh my, HEC, they get one back. Not very early on, but at a considerable time where NTC actually have to start to worry. They have to turn up the boosters once again. Maybe they just thought it would be an easy game from that point out. Lugs and Trees hitting it far into the opposing half, and no, Lugs and Trees, everybody has got a cruise missile locked right onto the crossbar except Swift apparently, as he does manage to equalize. And we have a game on our hands.
We really do, and it is so unfortunate that the reality we spoke about at the beginning of this game has now come true here. NTC had a 2-0 lead, and all of a sudden they have squandered it within about a minute and a half. As you said, it was about 40 seconds in once they had scored those 2 goals, but since then, they haven't really had a lot of momentum in their favor. Unfortunately, I think they took your advice a little bit too much to heart. Rather than trying to press the issue and continuing to get more offensive pressure, they've played a little bit more passively, and it's left a lot of room for ACC to develop some greater plays. Speaking of which, shot on target. Koiboy makes the save, but that is not the end of it. Cleared out to the corner, but yet another shot probably will ring true. Logs and Trees pops this one up. Swift is there, but gets bumped out of the way. A huge opportunity for HCC, but it is not quite done yet. They have had so much extended pressure in their opponent's half, and NTC need to break out and give themselves a chance on offense once again.
Oh, Blaskitten might be able to get a second touch. They're giving themselves chances, but touch like that out of Sergeant Dilmac, it's just a little bit too little. Koiboy out to the side, decides to not go for the crossbar play this time as the Noble comes in from behind once again and gets it out to the side. It's HGC with a lot of pressure onto the NTC side, and they have swapped this game completely around. The mental fortitude out of HGC, absolutely brilliant to see right now. That they took an early deficit, are not bothered by it whatsoever, and going at a rapid pace, even getting the lead right here. And well, if they continue the pace, they will be on to match point.
And it looks like they just might be. After having 3 uncontested goals in a row, we need to see a turnaround at NTC, and I think it's starting to do with their aggression. You're starting to see a bit of a disparage in the team's shots here. ACC, Logs and Trees alone has more shots the entirety of NTC. NTC has 5 total shots. Logs and Trees has 6 by themselves. Meanwhile, Swift and New will pick up another 3 total. And there's the offense we were hoping for. Koiboy does not need a whole lot of shots to make it work, and will find the 3rd goal for NTC.
Oh my word. Also, Koiboy has got a cruise missile set on the crossbar, but he put a dent and a half into it. And now, all of a sudden we have a tied game, and once again we have a complete game on our hands here, and no easy runaway as well. NTC will take the lead, unless Noble, oh my word, he was far back enough. The boomer, the pinch not being rewarded whatsoever. It was obviously a little bit fortunate out of NTC, but HEC respond stellarly once again.
I'm loving the patience that we're starting to see out of Howard right now. They're playing as if they are in control of the game. They're not allowing that third goal against them to really shake them whatsoever. They're still playing with the same confidence, still playing with the same sort of flow. And while I do appreciate that, they do need to be aware there's only a minute left in this game. So if they want to play with that amount of confidence and bring it into game number 4, they've got to win this one right here, right now. Going back to overtime, would really do them no benefits. It gives a little bit of relief, and that momentum can start to fade in favor of NTC, especially if they win it. But it really is already starting to look like it's going in favor of NTC. A lot of offensive pressure here, finally pushed into their back half, but I don't think it's going to be for very long. Koiboy waiting, tries to pop it out, but can't quite do so because it is contested. So instead, they'll have to try and take this one on the wall. Early challenge out of Swift is actually, wait a minute, it's going to leave it for Nooble open. I thought that it would allow a shot, but instead, third man rushes up for NTC, and they leave their entire back open.
Oh my, Blast at this point, at such a pivotal point in the series, jumping in like that is a little bit too careless. You have to be so afraid of those kind of things happening. You have to be doing your due diligence and really know what can be coming your way. Blast was not prepared for it. He's had a few touches where it very much was questionable where he was going with it. Blast now once again on the defense. He doesn't have a touch here whatsoever, since he just got taken out. One more goal will seal the deal for sure. Also a little bit of a careless shot, but I do think there was an HEC defender back. Indeed, Nooble is back in the defense. Koiboy, cruise missile once again onto the crossbar. Swift decides to keep it up, but then does let it drop for the better of his entire team, and HEC are on to match point now.
Oh my word, I feel so bad for NTC right now. They did everything they could to try and turn that game around, and they really did. We mentioned they needed more shooting. They upped their shooting by 50%, went from 3 total shots all the way up to, or actually, I think it was more than 3 total shots, 5 total shots, all the way up to 8. They did a great job of making sure to keep that pressure up and shooting on repeat against their opponents. The unfortunate truth is accuracy matters so much at this level. To shoot as many shots as they did off the bar, they had multiple during that game, is just not acceptable. HCC are not having many shots that go off target, and if they are, it's usually a light one that gets followed up by another player so that they can keep that offensive pressure. NTC have not done enough to keep their offensive pressure up. They're trying to get some more intricate plays than they can really afford. I think right now they kind of need to go back to the basics. See ball, hit ball, take a shot at the middle of the net, not necessarily top corners. It is okay if it's not going to necessarily be a boomer into the back of the net, as long as you can follow it up and have your players continue offense. That is incredibly important at this level.
Yeah, and I think right now they need to do a little bit of, as you already kind of put it, see ball, hit ball, but reverse evolution, where you very much turn back into time and you return from this incredibly intelligent who is capable of doing anything and pretty much think of anything in the world to a big monkey and just do whatever comes to your mind. You can't really think. They're overthinking it a little bit too much. You just need to go for it at times. Just gun it. That's Koiboy right now. He was gunning it for sure. It's a little bit too much right there. As Nooble once again comes through and Sergeant Dilmac, the in and out, gets punished.
Oh, so unfortunate. This was a heads-up play. I get why Dilmac did it, but unfortunately, can't really afford to put it off the backboard like that. You need to get it a little bit to the left or the right of the goal in order to make sure that you do not allow a follow-up shot like that. And unfortunately, I think the nerves are really starting to get to NTC. You mentioned they were overthinking stuff, and I think part of that is because of the fact that they are too in their own head, and they're getting nervous that, hey, we might just go down in a sweep. And oh my word, what a turnaround it would be. We mentioned this earlier. Howard are the number 2 team here. They played really well throughout the season, but the crazy thing is that they are number 2 going into this one, in NTC, who are down by 3 games right now and are down by 2 goals in game number 4. Are the number 1 seed. This is really not what we were expecting, considering especially that many of these goals were 1-goal games. 2-0, 40 seconds in favor of the team up. This is quite something, Hyferia.
Right now, NTC, they're the mechanical team. They're the more mechanical team, which is probably why they might just get into their own heads. As you said, this is a little bit crazy. Because if you look at this, NTC, they look speedier, they look faster. But ATC, speed doesn't matter if you're in the correct position, but speed does matter. You can just outpace your opponent like that. Koiboy having a show of mechanics right there. Just very quick and turning into the air. We saw the shot from Noble earlier where he just absolutely ripped one, but it wasn't necessarily mechanics. It's just consistency right now out of HTC, and that is what's pulling them ahead so massively in this series.
And NTC, they are still doing, I would say, some better goals here, but unfortunately, it's minor errors like that where you have double commits that leave them vulnerable. Nuble is very prepared, and the rotations that we're seeing out of HTC are just playing it safe. They're not focusing on trying to do anything too fancy. They are focusing on trying to make sure they keep this one close and make sure they don't make any major errors because, oh my word, unfortunately, NTC have made so many of them and they have capitalized so many times before, but there's the first major error we see out of HTC. All three players go into the corner and no one is home.
Well, that was a monkey moment as well. Everybody saw a big shiny bowl of boost and was like, yeah, I need that. That is exactly what I need right now. Oh my god, guys, I'm gonna go get this boost. Oh, you guys are here as well. It's like a meeting in the shopping mart when you're with your mum and you turn out you're standing there for about 3 months and you develop an entire different life where you don't know when you'll be back home again. That was kind of the boost in the corners conversation with that your mum has in the supermarket with others. But right now, that doesn't really matter anymore. You're out of that. You can move on with your life. You can now return to normal. And NTC, they've just equalized. They do need to obviously get one up on the opponents. The Sergeant Dilmac gets it up to the sky. And that is not the definition I was looking for, but it's a good flipper set in towards the center. Koiboy gets the shot saved, though.
And I am liking what we're seeing right now out of both teams. NTC are starting to hold this mid line a little bit better, and they're starting to get some offensive pressure, which is allowing them space to set up these more intricate shots. They're really waiting, and they're using those mechanical advantages to, well, their advantage right now. Meanwhile, though, everyone from HCC, they need to return to form. Like you said, return to normal right now, because they're not playing with the same sort of aggression. They look very passive, and I think that one triple commitment has really shook them to their core. All of a sudden, they're not trusting the rotations nearly as much. They're not playing with as much speed, and they're not backing each other up to the same degree, and it's allowing NTC with a lot more offensive pressure. So HCC, if you want to try and close this one out right here, right now, you need to start trusting each other a little bit more and start rushing the ball with a bit more pace.
And right now, every single game has been incredibly close. It's not really been a blowaway. And Swift, once again, he takes it slow. Blastle's going at it full pace. But maybe coming through. Sergeant Dilmac once again in that defensive position, standing his ground so valiantly. Koiboy missing the ball altogether. And sometimes the speed of NTC actually is a curse rather than a gift. And they need to really make sure they have the consistency over the speed, as Sergeant Dilmac has to take it across goal. Not a big deal if you take it completely across. But he didn't pick up the 100 pass. Swift off the crossbar. Blast gets to save, but Dogs and Trees coming in for the second shot. Going to be off the crossbar again. Nuble hits it wide, and the offense for HCC seems to not be on par right now with the defense of NTC. But there is still time to be changing that. That might be it right now. Dogs and Trees can get there in time. It's a 50. It's going to be off the line the entire time. And HCC take the lead once more.
Oh, this is so unfortunate. Again, it's just little errors that are happening for NTC that are forcing them in this position. Two players go for the final save, and while both of them probably could have had a great touch, only one of them did make the touch, and the other one flew into the back of the net where they were unable to make the follow-up here. It may cost NTC the series here as there's only a minute left, and oh, wait a minute, I might have spoke too soon. No, Nuble will get a great save in front of the net, but it's not going to be the end of the NTC offense. Again, we were complimentary of their midfield presence because it's starting to do wonders. Oh, but they break at the wrong time. Logs and Trees has boost in time in the corner. All they need to do now is waste said time. HCC know exactly what type of game plan they want. They want a deep third, they want a deep rotation, and they just want to annoy NTC until they make a mistake. Another open net and another Howard goal.
Oh no, for NTC that is. Oh yes, for HCC. They are coming out of this looking incredibly strong. There's 44 seconds. Probably the most important 44 seconds of NTC's Rocket League career, since their entire tournament life is on the line right here. They need to try and get a comeback. Sergeant Dilmac bump blast out of the way to try and make that happen. Koiboy from the defensive end. Here we go. The triple flip reset is being set up. Doesn't go for one. And then he just throws it away afterwards. He hits it forward so far, but they don't actually do anything with it. And they're not finding the right balance of Monkey and actually playing it smart. In these final 10 seconds, they are going to have to pull off a miracle if they want to make the comeback.
Yeah, unfortunately so, and I don't think it is possible. The time is ticking away, and exactly as you said, NTC did a great job of upping their aggression like we were hoping, getting some more shots, but unfortunately, that over-aggression started to cost them as HCC read every single play, and as a result, HCC will take the championships. They are your East Challengers Division champions as they sweep NTC in the final. Congratulations to Howard Community College. They are your NECC East Challengers champions.
And they are your champions, but low-key, they're also some janitors as well, sweeping it up like that in the grand final. An absolutely pivotal job that is, to keep the streets clean of, well, they made today the worst team, but getting second still in the entire NECC division is still a feat and a half. It's just a little bit unfortunate for them that they couldn't pull it through the entire way.
Yeah, this was an absolutely incredible game all around. Really well done to every single player on the pitch. I do want to make sure that the second place team knows that we are very, very excited by their presence and how they did. And it looks like we might have had a little bit of a hello from a friend of ours who's going to be talking to us very soon. So we will not waste too much time. We're going to go to a quick ad break, and when we return, the presentation of that championship. So do not go anywhere. We will be back in just a couple of moments.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NECC Rocket League Championships. My name is BassFromThePast, and joined alongside me is none other than our commissioner, Jacob Van Ryn. Jacob, welcome to the booth. We just saw our East Challengers Division and our winners of the day, Howard Community College, come out on top. I hope you are as excited as I am, as we are just about to bring all of the players in here. How are you doing on this fine afternoon?
I'm wonderful, my friend. It's good to see you. Nice job by you and Hyferia just moments ago in calling that one. I always enjoyed listening to the two of you guys handle this, and a very impressive performance, to say the least, by Howard as they become our first ever NECC program to win multiple championships. They won League of Legends in the fall, obviously, and they take Rocket League here tonight. So kudos to them.
And they are just now joining us in the booth. Welcome, Howard Community College. Congratulations, you guys, on taking the championships. How are you guys feeling today?
Feeling good.
Great.
Oh my God.
Feeling great.
Yes, sir.
I love to
Relieved.
hear it.
Very relieved.
Oh, I love to hear it. You guys sound like you are hyped because of that one. It was a very interesting game, but I gotta ask up front, were you guys expecting the 4-0 coming into this one, or were you expecting, I don't know, maybe a little bit more of a back and forth between the two teams?
Back and forth.
Back
Definitely.
and forth. We're never really expecting a 4-0. We're always expecting it to be a close game.
Yeah, we
But
knew
I
it
guess
would be close.
today we were all on our game. We were all peaking. And then, it just went from there before them.
I
Yes,
can't
sir.
really disagree. I think you guys played a really, really good game. Is there any sort of keys to victory you guys have that you think really propelled you here today? Because we had a couple things we were noting upon in the booth, but it really did look like you guys had so many advantages going for you guys against NTC.
Water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah, basically.
Got to stay hydrated. No. In all seriousness, we actually we stayed aggressive a lot of the time. You kind of have to try not to overthink and just go for the ball, even if they don't expect you to. So you can just
We're
keep
playing
the pressure
smart.
on. Yeah, we were
We're
playing
really
smart. Yeah.
Playing off each other's touches really well. Knowing when to challenge, knowing when to 50. Getting good 50s.
Yeah. Great comms from the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just not stressing too much over because I remember one game we were down 0-2 and we were like, okay, we gotta rethink what we gotta do. We gotta change some stuff around, and then from then on we won.
Yep. It's hydrate or dihydrate.
Yep.
Oh, my word. I love to hear it. It sounds like you guys came in with a game plan and you executed that absolutely perfectly. And, well, I really don't think you could have done much better at 4-0. You guys had a heck of a run today. And really, I think that you deserve all the praise in the world for how well you played. Jacob, I think you might have something for these boys. Without further ado, I leave this one to you.
I do, my friend. Thank you, Bass. Gentlemen, congratulations. Another trophy to add to the case down there in Maryland. We're thrilled for you. Congratulations. Obviously, well-deserved on an outstanding performance here tonight in a 4-0 sweep of the top seed. You guys, as Bass, I thought, said very well, executed the game plan perfectly, and it showed throughout tonight. Congratulations. Also want to say congratulations to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Mark Winkle, for the program he's put together down there in such a short window of time. Gentlemen, congratulations. Enjoy it. We'll get that out in the mail to you. We'll get those HyperX Cloud headsets down there as well, and they should be arriving hopefully as soon as possible.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
As you can hear Hyferia clapping in the background, giving you guys a little bit of applause from behind the scenes. So, guys, before we let you go, we know you guys have a lot of, I would say, celebrations probably behind the scenes that you've got to attend to. So before we let you off here, is there anybody you guys want to shout out that might have been watching this stream?
Yeah, I got a couple. I got Ether Ace in the chat. Got the AOF gang, the Lo-Fi gang. Got Brixton. Everybody's watching, supporting the team. Let's go.
Love to hear it. Any other from Wraith or Nooble?
No, I don't.
Just
shout out my team.
Thanks, babe.
All right, well, we will let you guys go. Thank you so much for coming in here for the short little interview. And really, again, congratulations on you guys winning this one in such extravagant fashion. You absolutely deserve this championship. It was a heck of a season and a heck of a playoff run. Congratulations on becoming the East Challengers champions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bass.
All right, well, Jacob, it has been the first series of the day, but we are not quite done yet. We have got plenty of more games to go. That is only the first series of the day. Next up, we have got even more Rocket League action in the teams of Kansas Wesleyan versus Fresno State Maroon. It's going to be our West Emergence division. You are not going to want to miss that. So we will be back in just a couple of moments after some words from our partners. Stay tuned. We will see you guys very soon.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.